Blackwell returned to footy in round 15 through the reserves. That was the first time in his career that he's done so. In that game, he amassed 19 possessions, and that was without playing the full 4 quarters.
Yeah, I pulled up probably a bit sore the first week, only playing a half. That's obviously just what expected after not playing for so long.
Luke Blackwell was out there running around in the reserves today, Clint.
Yeah, he was. So second game back in the WAFL reserves competition as he tries to fight his way back from an ankle injury.
Yeah, it's probably a bit tough. You know, the structures and everything are the same, but there is younger guys out there and things don't run as smoothly as probably what it does in our league side, being a pretty older, mature side. But it's been enjoyable playing with the young guys as well, and I'm trying to pass on a bit of knowledge and just try and get them to play to the structures and play to the way Webby wants us to play. So it has been enjoyable, but tough at the same time.
Can you run me through what happened in round 15 on that Friday night against Subiaco?
Yeah, I was just running to pick the ball up, and as I picked it up, I've handballed it out, and someone's fell across the top of my ankle. It's called a high ankle, so it's a high ankle sprain, I should say. So basically, someone fell across the top of my ankle, above sort of the ankle bone, and my foot stayed in one spot, and so the leg moves across a little bit as well. So that's what happened. I flicked out the handball, someone fell on it. I didn't think it was that bad initially, and then I tried to sort of jog off, and then once I got in the rooms, the doc sort of said he'd try and stand on it. I was like, oh yeah, I think it's okay. And then he sort of felt it in a few spots, and he goes, it hurt here? And I said, yep. And he goes, yeah, I don't think it's very good. And got the scan the next day, and yeah, 8 to 12 weeks it was a diagnosis, and that's life.
And what have you actually done to your ankle?
It's called a syndesmosis injury. So Sherrod Wellingham had it, jumping off a trampoline. So it's basically where your tibia and fibula meet. There is a joint sort of that goes up there, and I tore that slightly, and my lateral ligament. So yeah, it's not great. If you keep playing, obviously your tibia and fibula keep moving further apart, and that tear keeps getting greater. So you pretty much have to stop, or you have to get surgery.
Now, what option did you choose?
I chose no surgery.
And why was that?
Pretty much because of the time frame. It'd probably be 16 to 18 weeks, I got told, and without surgery is about 10 to 12 weeks, which what it has been now. And 16 to 18 weeks probably is another 6 weeks' time. We'd probably be coming on finals, and it probably might be hard for me to get back into the side and get back to playing at all, maybe. So I'm getting a little bit older these days, so I wanted to risk it, and it's probably been the best decision I've made, because I'll touch wood, because everything's going to plan so far, and hopefully get back out there.
And good news for Tigers fans, Blackwell's injury won't flare up again.
I think I'm sort of past that point of no return, that the injury's healed. Basically, I could redo the injury, basically if someone falls on it again or something like that, but I think there's no risk of it going just wear and tear and getting worse and worse.
Again, it's Claremont just so sharp at those centre clearances. Blackwell took the ball before it even hit the ground.
Is it your kicking foot?
It is my kicking leg, yes.
And how's your kicking been going? I mean, have you been a bit off? Have you got to kick a different sort of way or style now at all?
I've definitely been kicking a bit ordinary, to be honest. So it has affected my kicking, but every week it gets better and better, and I get more strength in it and things like that. So hopefully I'm got all my shanks out of the way the last few weeks.
Great use by Blackwell.
The rehab process has been quite difficult for Blackwell, especially the first 6 weeks.
First 4 weeks I was on crutches with a boot on, and then another 2 weeks later, so 6 weeks was just boot. So I was walking around for 2 weeks of the 6 weeks, if that makes sense. And then since the 6 weeks mark, I've just sort of been building up till now, which is I think it's about 11 weeks running, jogging, and then obviously getting into games and everything like that. So the first 6 weeks was the toughest, obviously with a boot on, and with work as well. crutching around the office and out in the workshop, which wasn't fun, but my employer was pretty good about it and looked after me. But yeah, it's good to be mobile, just not only with footy, in life as well now.
Centimetre perfect, lovely pass by Blackwell.
Did you lose any match fitness?
Definitely, a lot. I felt, especially on the weekend in the second half, you're just sort of trying to work to contests and things like that. Your match fitness isn't there, and that does come with training as well. I haven't been training as well as playing in that 12 weeks, and it just the match fitness you can't match with boxing, swimming, things like that. It's just the match fitness just comes from playing footy. So that definitely is going to take a few weeks to get back.
Since Blackwell's return to the WAFL in 2009, he's only missed 3 games. So you can imagine his anguish at missing out on half the season due to his ankle injury.
I don't enjoy watching, and I'm probably a bit of a sulk a little bit. It's probably more at home, not around the club. But so I feel sorry for my girlfriend. But yeah, I'm probably not good at watching and being on the sidelines. I probably just get angry and frustrated not being out there, and it has been a little bit hard for me. But you know, I talk to blokes like Andrew Brown, who's our captain. He's sort of the last 4 or 5 years been in and out with injuries sort of the whole time, and you know, talk to blokes like him, and he just gives you advice on how to get through it, and it just sort of makes me feel like my problems are insignificant compared to the amount of games that he's missed over the last few years.
Blackwell's gained some valuable experience from sitting on the sidelines, watching his team play every week, and that is what structures work well and what doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's just more blatant once you're sort of sitting up. It's sort of easy sitting in the stand, so it is blatant to you what mistakes we are making, but and how often we do make them. When you're out there, it just sort of seems like the game passes you by, and you've got to click into that mode of, okay, we've got to change something straight away. It's sort of easier to pick that up earlier while you're in the stands than it is out in the ground, and it's probably just something I've sort of taken on board.
And this stint on the sidelines has made the midfielder hungrier than ever.
Blackwell, centering pass.
To win a 3rd consecutive premiership.
I think the carrot of a premiership at the end of the year, sitting pretty on top. You know, it's hard watching your team lose, and sometimes it's just as hard watching your team win without you, and don't know if they need you anymore and things like that.
Andrews lays it off by hand, a Sandover medalist in Blackwell.
Not too many teams go back to back, and it's a huge effort, and you know, you go back over history, and it's not done very often. So you know, the blokes that we've played with the last couple of years, we'll sort of have a bond sort of forever. You know, it's cliche, but a lot of my best mates, and you know, they think the same. We're going to sort of be in touch for the rest of our life, just because you have won a couple of premierships, and not many people have done it before you. So that would make it even more special if we go 3 in a row this year, what we're aiming to do. So that's the plan.
Luke Blackwell.
Claremont's recent success hasn't come without its fair share of blunders. They found themselves second last on the ladder for 2 consecutive years, and no one would have foreseen 5 years later the Tigers staring at a possible 3rd consecutive flag.
Claremont have prevailed in a close one.
But Blackwell puts it all down to a cultural change at the club.
I think probably 5 or 6 strong individuals sort of can change a culture, and probably in I think 2009, my first year, where we lost probably majority of games, and we lost a coach along the way and things like that, and you're probably missing 5 or 6 strong individuals. We probably still had a pretty good side that year and had a few injuries early, and that sort of wrote the year off. And then since 2010, so the last 4 years, we've been probably very strong, and yeah, like I was saying, 5 or 6 individuals who are strong character and really good people to have around the footy club sort of set the standard. And along the way, that's like Clancy Rutherford, Andrew Brown, and then I go to Simon McPhee and Mark Webb, who have their own positives about them, and have their own ideas and have their own beliefs and everything like that people really follow and admire and things like that. And so that those kind of people create the culture, and that's where we sort of sit now, where we have a good culture and have a winning culture at the moment, and hopefully that can stay on, and the young guys can sort of take note of that and keep the club going forward.